reports to where people have had to been.
Butler County Sheriff Richard K. Jones says his deputies will not carry Narcan. I spoke with Sheriff Jones just a short time ago, who says he has his officers' backs. And when people overdose and they're revived, they often are kind of violent, and they're not too thrilled to wake up to see the police.
I've seen it to where reports to where people have had to been Narcan 20 times. Not 20 times at one setting, 20 separate times the life squads and the fire trucks and the police have to go out. But in Butler County, not so.
Sheriff Jones says that only EMTs on life squads will be using it, and he wants them to be able to do their jobs. After 17 years,
comes into 3 different pieces. You have the actual Narcan here, then you'll have the tube here. This applicator screws on. You take half of it and inject it into the nostril and use the rest of it into the other nostril. Generally takes about 30 seconds to a minute for them to come back to breathe into consciousness. Usually when we're on scene, the subject is it's very shallow, kind of a deep breathing. Usually they're foaming out of their mouth. Their skin is kind of a bluish color. You just administer Narcan and just kind of gotta wait for the medicine or the drug to take effect. Like I said, it's about 30 seconds to a minute. And it's almost like their chest rises up. They start breathing and their eyes are real big. And they're kind of out of it for a little bit, and then they realize what's going on shortly after that. To me, it's just another tool in our tool belt. Part of our job description is to preserve life. You know, with this gives us the ability to maybe help somebody before the fire department can get there. So I think it's a great tool.
My deputies don't do Narcan, Sheriff promises to let opioid addicts die. By Matt Agarist, July 7, 2017. Butler County, an Ohio sheriff is making national headlines this week after publicly noting that his department will be one of the only ones in the state to refuse to carry Narcan, a drug used to reverse the effects of opioid and heroin overdoses. According to Cincinnati.com, Butler County Sheriff Richard K. Jones says his deputies won't carry Narcan, despite its effectiveness reversing the effects of opioid and heroin overdoses. He's the only sheriff in Southwest Ohio refusing to carry the life-saving medicine. The sheriff made this reckless decision in spite of the fact that drug overdoses continue to be the leading cause of death in the entire county. According to the coroner, the county is now on track to break last year's record for the highest number of overdose deaths. The disturbing trend of overdose deaths involving fentanyl in Butler County continues at an alarming rate, said Butler County Coroner Lisa Mannix in a recent press conference. Jones' reasoning for refusing to revive overdosed individuals with Narcan is not surprising officer safety. According to Jones, when deputies save the life of someone during an overdose, they often wake up, see the deputies, and freak out. I don't do Narcan, Jones told reporter Keith Berry-Golick. Advertisement. As Fox 19 reports, Jones' remarks Thursday come after a Middletown city councilman recently brought national attention to that Butler County city by suggesting letting addicts die instead of repeatedly reviving them with Narcan. The suggestion to let addicts die from their overdose brings into question the responsibility of the state to protect people from themselves. Read more. Cops shut down holographic Chief Keef concert as the rapper promoted ending the violence. Jones and his deputies will undoubtedly pull over hundreds of people this year and issue them citations for not wearing their seat belts. This extortion will be carried out in the name of public safety and protecting people from themselves. The sheriff refusing to protect people from their heroin overdoses highlights the hypocrisy in seat belt tickets as well as other citations, arrests, and detainment for victimless crimes that the sheriff is more than happy to enforce. Also, What if the sheriff and his deputies found a child who accidentally overdosed on their parents' opioid supply? How would they feel knowing they could have saved the life of an innocent child if they would have simply carried Narcan? Also, the question still remains, does the state have a legal responsibility to save your life with Narcan if you overdose on opioids? Being that the sheriff is funded by the very people who may experience an overdose one day, the answer to that question is most likely yes. The citizens of Butler are forced to pay for the sheriff's department, therefore the sheriff owes them a service in return. However, where is the line drawn? Should police simply continue to go on calls and revive people over and over with Narcan that can cost up to $75 per dose? To understand the answers to those questions, we have to look at how the state has essentially created and facilitated the current opioid epidemic in which America currently finds itself. For decades, the U.S. government has waged a war on drugs while granting the monopoly on opioid production to the pharmaceutical industry. For years, people who would have never thought of trying heroin trusted their doctors who were being paid large sums of money to prescribe them dangerous and addictive opioids. Read more, the drug war, asset forfeiture, and the cycle that funds the police state. As the crackdown on opioids came to a head, all the legal drug addicts were forced into the black market to continue supporting their addictions. Soccer moms and business professionals alike quickly found themselves buying highly dangerous fentanyl and heroin on the black market to support their government-approved pharmaceutical industry-sustained addictions. Instead of helping these people, who clearly have physical and mental addictions and need help, the government simply began locking them in cages when they caught them with it. Research according to many law enforcement officials shows that the cost of incarceration, especially for repeat drug offenders, is far higher than simply treating their addiction. The good news is that people like Jones are quickly finding themselves obsolete. Law enforcement across the country are realizing that treatment, not cages, curbs the problem of addiction far more successfully. This realization has led to the creation of the Angel program. As the Boston Globe reports, as Gloucester Police Chief, Leonard Campanello pledged in 2015 that drug users could walk into the police station, hand over heroin, and walk out into treatment within hours without arrest or charges. The concept of help rather than handcuffs became a national sensation. Campanello is no longer police chief there, but the program is continuing in Gloucester. The concept of helping addicts instead of criminalizing them is such a success, it's been adopted by 200 police agencies in 28 states. Aside from the Angel program, stopping the war on drugs is also having a heavy effect on reducing opioid overdoses. Read more, 7 Rules for Recording Police. As TFTP has reported at length, states with legal cannabis see far fewer overdoses than those who cage people for the plant. Solutions to this epidemic exist, but in order for them to be successful, government must legalize freedom and admit that the war on drugs is an epic failure. While things may seem bleak, these tiny changes are already beginning to have a major positive effect. Soon enough, the dinosaurs who continue to push the drug war will be seen as the tyrants they are. To all those in law enforcement, you will do well to place yourself on the right side of history, which, most assuredly, does not involve kidnapping, caging, and killing people in a failed war to control what those people do with their own bodies.
Hey Charlotte County, this is Charlotte County Cop Watch, and I wanted to explain what fair use is. You can use pieces of news articles if you're doing it for news reporting, you have commentary, and you're doing it for education purposes. So that's what fair use is, as you can see right here. Another reason why I wanted to make this video is to let you know I have just joined with Patreon. A nice thing with Patreon, I make no money on YouTube. They took the money away years ago, and so this is another way to give, and it's a nice thing too because you can give monthly. You can give $1, $5, $10, whatever. I do 4 to 5 hours a day on trying to wake the sheeple up on how corrupt it is and different ways that you can fight the corruption. So Patreon is a way that you can do it, and then of course the old way is still there. Donate to Sheriff County Cop Watch with PayPal or credit card. So keep that in mind. 4 to 5 hours a day. I make no money, but the corruption happened to me, and I'm sick of it. So I'm trying to wake people up. But my wife would love it if some, if we could get some help out there. There's 47,000 subscribers. Just think if each one of you subscribers just gave a, let's say, actually, yes, $1 a month. 47,000 subscribers gave $1 a month. That would be awesome. That's not going to happen. But anyways, that would be great if it did happen. But, do the math in your head. Just think about it. Like I said, 4 to 5 hours a day. I get no money from YouTube. YouTube has gone nuts. You can't do anything anymore. They're taking the money away everywhere. So these are a couple different ways that you can still help out with all this time that I put in. And as you know, I'm in a special situation where, at least I can do it, 4 to 5 hours a day. We have a cleaning company during the day. That's what allows me to do this, and we're debt free. So this is my hobby. I don't go fishing and all that other crap. I try to save the world. So help me out to make the wife happy, man. In fact, if you guys did give $1 a day, and there was 47,000 of you, and you did it, and each of you gave $1, and that was every month, oh my God, yes, I could quit. I could start suing them. Another idea too that we have is, if I got, some funds, we could actually contact everyone that has been ticketed and or arrested and put in jail and start sending them postcards to let them know we're here, and to see if everything went all right, and if it didn't, find out their story. So we could even do more investigations and more lawsuits. Lawsuits take money. So just think about that. 47,000 of you so far right now. $1 a day. $1 a month on Patreon, or $5 a month Patreon, 10, 20, whatever. Just do the math in your head. Help out. This is a lot of work every single day. Thanks.